Superman 34, legacy number 877. Joshua Williamson writing with Eddie Barrows on the art. So you read this, Matt. Take it away.
Yeah, it's Superman. Of course, I'm going to keep reading Superman. So it picks up from the fight issue. Well, not from the fight issue. In the fight issue, there were little spots that, when it wasn't Lex versus Demon, and it picks up from there. And we get to the Fortress of Solitude long ago, and Superman had used this Kryptonian technology, robotics technology, to create a robot that didn't realize it was a robot. So they're doing Blade Runner a little bit here, down to the jacket that Superman's wearing as Helix is explaining to this robot that he's not Superman, he is a Superman robot, and that the reason that Superman wants to do this is that because you can't program these robots to care about humans, but you can if they think that they're Superman, they'll just act as Superman would, and Superman does care about humans, right? So he's trying to, get that into them, and he goes, this day, eventually these creations can be heroes. And we have one of the Superman robots with Prime and Lois, and they get attacked by it's not just the Darkseid Legion. The Earth's becoming Apocalypse, so like a fire pit explodes up from underneath them, so they're getting attacked by the fire pit creation, but also Darkseid's Legion. They come through the fortress, and they start just destroying things. And Cosmic Boy ends up getting his hands on Helix, and Helix will not break, right? He's not going to tell him anything. However, Saturn Girl finds this like holographic projection of Superman or Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. So it's definitely Williamson tipping his hand going into the books, and to the book that he's going to do. And she basically says that, he didn't consider us a team. He considered this version family. And then Cosmic Boy brings Helix over, and he's like, I think I played too rough with this one. We're gonna have to figure this out. And yeah, it catches up with the Final Four. We get one page of that from the KO tournament. So we get like a brief recap of what's been going on with Lex and Superman, on this one page that Barrows it does really well, because it ends up being like a side profile of both Lex and Superman, and then it's their course through the tournament until they're back on Earth with the other, with Wonder Woman and Joker. And yeah, the book ends up with Prime and the Lois and the robot saving the Royal Flush Gang, who was trying to steal things while the Earth is getting destroyed. And Prime's like, well, no, we can't save them. They had every chance to leave, but let's go fight them. And the Superman robot stops him. He goes, no, you see, they need help. So they go down and save them, which, leaves them, which leaves them vulnerable to the Legion. And then they end up getting to a ship right as they flee the Legion. They end up getting to a ship that Mercy had that's going to take them up to the satellite, to the Watchtower. And there's a little bit of hints here about some of the tie-ins. So again, I've praised KO for not having so many tie-ins, except it's uprooting the books that I read regularly to make them tie-ins. Because this one talks about the kids are all fight, and apparently that has to do with Granny Goodness. And they talk about all that stuff there. And Time Trapper, as they get to the Watchtower, explains to them that Booster was Darkseid, or Darkseid, had possessed him. And, he explains that whole story. And the Legion shows up on the Watchtower. And Superboy Prime ends up being like, look, I've dealt with you guys before, but this time I know how this is going to go. And you're messing with my new best friend, Lois Lane. So I don't have to hold back. And he ends the issue with, it's effing prime time, baby. which again, if there's any more reason for me to dislike Superboy Prime, it's that he used the catchphrase again. So yeah, just a tie-in, right? There's nothing that really pushes the story forward anywhere except for I can see where Williamson's going to go with the Legion, which the way that he was talking about the Legion makes me feel like it's going to be different than Bendis's, I feel, because it's focusing more on how Superman interplayed with the Legion and what his legacy means for them. So again, I'd be a fool to say that I'm not checking out the book, because we all know I'm going to, regardless of Williamson or not. But the rest of it is this whole thing with Superboy Prime still, and they're trying to make him a thing, trying to make fetch happen, and I don't want Superboy Prime to happen. I really am disliking this character. But Eddie Barrow's art looks great. Like it handles a lot of the shadows with the Darkseid's Legion and Superboy Prime, and when he pops back up in the armor here at the end, that was from Infinite Crisis, it looks great. Like I can't even be mad at how it looks. I can just be annoyed that it's happening. But yeah, it's a tie-in issue. So I'm gonna give this a 6.5.